Hello, my beautiful friends. This is Crystal Rose Insights. And I wanted to come on today and do a special reading to address something that I know many of you guys have been asking about and struggling with. And I felt like I wanted to do a video to go a little bit more in depth on this topic. So, I'm excited to do this because I think it's an important piece of the clarifying the twin flame journey and different stages of it, or different things that you may be coming up with in your experience. And so anyway, to start this, I actually have my Goddess Angel deck, because this is going to be mostly for the Divine Feminines out there who have been feeling like they are waiting on the Divine Masculine. They've been waiting for a long time. They've been doing their work, and they're kind of sick and tired of the Divine Masculine just running amok and doing what he wants, and while we're sitting here waiting in the wings. So I've gotten a lot of questions around that, and I'm going to address them, but the goddesses are here to share their feminine energy with us to help guide this conversation. And I also have here a citrine point. And now citrine is the stone of creativity. It's a stone of manifestation. This energy of a citrine really helps to improve manifestation abilities. It's also an uplifting stone of joy and happiness. It relates to the sacral and solar plexus chakras as well, which dominate your willpower, your self-respect, also your sexual energy, your creativity, your manifesting energy, because sexual energy really is manifesting energy. And but the ability to transmute and to transform for the positive. So I felt like, I know a lot of the Divine Feminines that have written in or had readings with me, or I've had questions on my channel. It's relating to this, is they're just kind of fed up and they're feeling a little down in the dumps and really frustrated and maybe resentful. So this is here for that reason, to help support this. But so I wanted to talk today. Today's going to be less of a reading video, but a teaching video, but I'm going to pull some cards anyway, just as I go, to help enhance the conversation or the learning. And I want to talk about the situation where a lot of the Divine Feminines have been in this place where they are typically more spiritually aware and a little ahead of where the Divine Masculine is in their spiritual path. Now that doesn't mean they're superior to them. It doesn't mean they've done all their work and now they're sitting there buffing their nails, painting their nails, and just waiting for the Divine Masculine. That's not what I mean. But typically the Divine Feminine has had a spiritual awakening in advance of the Divine Masculine. And sometimes that energy and the intensity of when they come together, or they interact in the physical world before they're in union, but they just come in contact with each other, that energy can be very overwhelming for both of them. But because the Divine Feminine typically understands where they're at in the dynamic, or has more recognition about this dynamic and this potential spiritual connection that they have as twins, it's easy to feel impatient and frustrated with the fact that the Divine Masculine's not quite seeing that yet. And guys, this can sometimes literally take years, okay? And I know when you've experienced that dynamic and you feel that energy that happens between twins, it's really hard to sit back and say, oh, I just don't want to, I will live my life without it for a while until it shows up. Like, it's very hard to do that. I understand that. But there's a couple of things I want to share about this. So there may be times, if you're in your twin flame journey, like, there's a whole other conversation about somebody being a false twin, okay? So there are people that can come into our lives that are extremely powerful dynamics, relationship, bondedness, and they may be what's called a false twin. Now, that's a whole nother video in and of itself. I'm not going to go into that here as much, but they are people that could be bringing things up for us, but they're not ultimately our twin flame. And there's ways to know that. There's ways to know whether someone's your true twin or your false twin. And this is something only you can decipher and discern for yourself. But typically, so the reason I'm bringing this up is because I'm assuming this conversation is not with your false twin, okay? I might do another video about that later. You can always look up what false twins are if you want to wait, look at that now before I do my video. But let's assume for the sake of this conversation that this person that you've identified as your twin flame, divine feminine, is your divine masculine, your counterpart. So there may be a time that comes into your relationship or your dynamic together where you're just fed up with waiting for them. You're fed up with them. Like some people say things like, oh, they're off dating other people and I'm supposed to sit around, and they're kind of resentful and upset about it. And I want to clarify that at no point in the journey are you supposed to, first of all, put up with abusive dynamics. Never. That is not the twin flame journey. And my concern with doing this work always is I always wanted to be very, very, very clear that my concern was in coming out and having this work is that people that were more codependent, still needing to heal things, maybe they were having those dynamics with somebody that really was abusive to them. A lot of divine feminines have, and even divine masculines, have been in their past relationships more on the codependent dynamic, and that's part of the evolving into who they really are. They've had to learn those lessons. But my concern has always been that people will hear this information and hold on to a relationship that is not healthy, is abusive, and is completely one-sided, or mostly one-sided. And here's what I've learned from this, though, is by doing this work and starting my channel, I've actually had a little bit of my concern about that alleviated, because the people that are here, the people that get readings with me, the people that are commenting, a lot of them are just, they're not in that space. So that makes me very happy, that it feels like they're not in a codependent situation where they're putting up with being treated badly because they identify somebody as their twin flame. So that really warms my heart and makes me grateful for that element, but it is something I wanted to mention. So again, given that this is actually and so somebody that's narcissistic and abusive, which narcissism is a form of abuse, and trust me, I know, because I've lived it, and until you've lived it, it's hard to truly comprehend, but that is not the true twin flame energy. Narcissism is something that is extremely deep and and pretty much cannot be, it's very rare that it can be shifted, okay? So if you're in that type of a situation, you're never supposed to put up with abuse, emotional abuse, mind games, all that stuff. That's not okay. But if you're in a situation where you've identified your twin, or you feel like there's a dynamic there and they're in a certain situation, or they're not quite seeing it, or you've declared your love for them, and they haven't responded, or they've even responded in an angry manner or in a very abrupt manner, this is my suggestion for you with relating to that, because sometimes for us it seems very obvious. Like, duh, don't you see this? And then they're like, oh, I feel it, but I don't quite understand it yet, so I need to pull away to integrate. I need to figure this out, and oh my God, it's too intense, I gotta move on. So that's a lot what the Divine Masculine has been doing. But in that situation, I mean, there may be times where you may be a twin flame and you've identified your Divine Masculine, and you're just tired of waiting. You're tired of sort of waiting, sitting around, wanting them to learn their lessons. And it is perfectly okay and actually wonderful if you choose yourself. You choose yourself over waiting on what somebody else does. You're waiting on them. Because the Divine Feminine, if you think about her, she's very empowered. She's not chasing. She's not pining. She's not worried about what he's doing over here, because that's ego and fear energy. That is the energy that holds us back and keeps the union separate. Because if you think of yourself and you're in a weak moment and you're feeling frustrated, like, are you embodying the Divine Feminine? Would the Divine Feminine be worried if so-and-so was still dating somebody, or even in love with somebody, or even married to somebody else? They might not like it. The Divine Feminine might not like it, but the Divine Feminine also realizes that there's still more to do. There's still more to learn. And in the meantime, she's going to work on her passion, her gift, her service to her mission, which is here to serve consciousness. So there's some of you that have reached the point where you're like, I'm just over this. I'm so done. I'm so over this. It's like, that's fine. It may be a good thing and a good step for you to take to withdraw from this whole dynamic for a while and just do you. Focus on you. Focus on your happiness. Focus on your growth. Because as you empower yourself, it could magnetize that twin flame towards you more, because the more you heal yourself and grow yourself, the more you'll be helping them as well. But I wouldn't suggest doing that simply as a tactic to bring your divine masculine closer to you. Like, do it from a genuine place of, this is my time to focus on me. Because if he's my divine masculine and I'm doing my work and I'm happy and I'm grounded and I'm connected, he will eventually make the moves towards me. But in the meantime, I'm not going to waste my energy, because that energy is not going to support me anyway. I'm going to be in that divine unconditional love energy. Send him lots of love, send him support, but I'm still going to do me. That might even include dating other people. That might even include choosing a soulmate relationship where you marry somebody that's a wonderful person for you. That's a soulmate. Even though your twin is out there, that's an absolutely reasonable and possible option for you as the divine feminine or divine masculine. And there's nothing wrong with that. And as I heard someone else say the other day, and I can't remember who it was, and I apologize if I can't give them credit, but it hit me so hard, is I heard someone else describe it as soulmate relationships can be a lot more copacetic and peaceful and even keel than a twin flame relationship. Because the twin flame relationship, because we're mirrors of each other, we're the same essence, it has the potential to be a lot more challenging and triggering. And not everyone is up for that task. Not everyone is up for that task. And that's okay. You might just go, yeah, I get this twin flame thing, but you know what, it's just too hard. I'm going to go with a soulmate. Go with your soulmate. Do not sit around if you are feeling called to investigate love with other people, because there may be some lessons that come from that. Who knows? You may be with them for the rest of your life and lead a very happy life with a soulmate. Yet that's also intended for your soul's growth as well. So there's a difference between what you're here to learn as a soul and also how it looks on the outside. Are you married? Are you not married? Are you with your twin? Or are you not with your twin? Are you with the soulmate or a karmic? So I'm going to get some messages from the goddess cards right now. Anything they want to add to this. Goddesses, what do you have to say right now for the people listening to this video? When they're in this situation of feeling exasperated, frustrated, what do you want them to remember? Receptivity. Oh, I love this card. All right, so this is about allowing yourself to receive. This will increase your intuition, energy, and the ability to give to others. So that is one of the major lessons of the divine feminine. And I've seen it in myself. I've seen it in the people I've done readings for. I've seen it in my collective readings. It is such a huge theme for the divine feminine. In that the divine feminine's big lesson, the embodiment of the divine feminine energy is to be receptive. That receptivity instead of the action forward. Like the sun is the action forward, the moon is receptivity, intuition, feminine. So it's masculine, feminine energy. So the energy of receptivity means you need to pull back and step back and allow the space so that you can draw things into your experience. If you're holding the space and pushing forward, there's no room for anything to flow in. So the goddesses want to remind us here in that situation that by putting up that boundary of either giving up or not focusing on it, or at least just focusing on yourself, that's allowing the space for receptivity. And the divine masculine will give to his divine feminine once it's time, divine timing. He's ready, he's done his work, you've done your work. So I love that that message just came through, because that's a huge lesson about the receptivity part. In fact, I have a friend of mine who does coaching work with women on conscious relationships. And she describes it as leaning back. She's like, when you're in a relationship, lean back. Instead of like Sheryl Sandberg's lean in, like lean back. If you lean back, the masculine will come to you if it's the right thing. If they don't, they don't. But it's an important practice for the divine feminine. And the next thing is fairness. The situation will be handled in a fair and just manner. So this is the message for those of you that are feeling resentful and frustrated and like, I'm over this. I'm done with this journey because this is like, I've been waiting forever. What the heck's going on? Like, I just need to move on with my life. It's fair. It's fair to do that. There's nobody holding you here in this situation that you're frustrated at that's causing you upset. You know, your focus is on you to figure out how you can be happy. You can create and raise your vibration to be happier and higher. And sometimes by doing that, union can manifest even quicker because you're just doing it. You're not stuck in a dynamic that you don't want to be in. Some people are better at being more patient than others, and there's nothing wrong. They're not better than other people. It's just where they're at in their life for whatever reason. The circumstances make it easier. But some of you may be dealing with people who are super sweet and wonderful and loving, and they want to be with you, and you enjoy their company, and they treat you really well. There's nothing wrong with spending time with them and seeing what develops. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. So I think that's important as why that's coming out. Another card. Focused intention. Keep your unwavering thoughts, feelings, and actions focused on your target, and you will make your mark. So this is really about your focused intention as a divine feminine is to embody the divine feminine. Feel into her energy. When you're feeling like a goddess, you're feeling on top of the world. Remember that energy. I would suggest journaling. If you're ever in one of those moments where you're flying high, you're like, I am kicking ass today. I'm doing so well. I feel amazing. I'm so empowered. Take some time to journal when you're in that space. Get into the feeling of it, because if you're ever having a down moment, go back and look at what you've just been reading. I mean, go read back to what you wrote when you were feeling so abundant. So your focused intention is to serve, to serve your mission, to embody the divine feminine. And if you're not feeling like the divine feminine because you're worried or concerned or frustrated, which is all ego energy, which is not the divine feminine, then remember, be the divine feminine. Remind yourself of who she is. She is not worried. She is not worried about timing. She's not frustrated. She's like, whatever, it is what it is, and I'm going to just be me. I love that. And I'm going to ask for Archangel Michael to give 3 cards of advice before we wrap up here. Archangel Michael, what advice do you have for divine feminines who may find themselves in the situation of just being over it, being frustrated, just being like, I'm done, I'm just going to move on, I have to, this is ridiculous, or I've just been at this for too long. Michael, what are your 3 best pieces of advice for divine feminines or even divine masculines who are in that situation? What's your best advice for someone who's feeling that way on this path? Keep your eyes on your targeted intention. Seriously, guys? Oh my God, same message. Archangel Michael and the goddesses both said the same thing. Focus on your inner vision. Focus on your intention. Release any fears and doubts. Grant me the confidence and courage to take action towards realizing my dreams. My God, that's like the same card twice. I'm going to put that here because it's the same message. 2 more cards, please, Michael. Thank you. God is in charge, and romance angels are helping you. So these messages, Archangel Michael's message is that God is in charge. This divine union is divinely guided and divinely supported. You know, what you do or don't do or how you act or don't act isn't necessarily going to change things here. I mean, free will always has a play in it. I won't say that you have no control, because free will does matter. However, God is in charge of this, and so if you're feeling resentful or frustrated or wanting to move on, it just means you're not ready. It just means that you actually have more work to do, and that's possibly why the delay is happening. So remember, God is in charge with this, and trust your divine wisdom and love. And the romance angels are helping you. So not only is God in charge, but the romance angels are supporting you and your soulmate and preparing you guys for love, giving us the motivation to make healthful life changes and for arranging for us to meet. Thank you for helping us recognize each other and have the courage to say hello so that we can eventually delve into a truly intimate relationship. So these are the messages for you guys if you're feeling in doubt, if you're feeling in that frustrated space. I feel so much like this is summarizing it so well. So well. And I want to pull a final card here from the Romance Angels. Romance Angels, what's your final message, please? For Divine Feminines who are in this situation where they're feeling frustrated and ready to just give up on this journey. What is your message for them, please? Overall message. Separation, yeah, well, they're in separation. Time apart from your partner's on the horizon. So this is just reiterating that, of course, you guys are in separation, which is why you're feeling the frustration. And that if you're in that frustration, you still are having, there's going to be still more separation. Because if you're having those emotions, it's just something that's something for you more to work on. And again, Divine Masculine also working on it. This is not just Divine Feminine focus necessarily, but one other message, please, Romance Angels. Past life relationship and finances and career. Okay, so there may just be some things that need to get in order. I know a lot of the Divine Masculines have been focused on finance and career, to creating this place where they're worthy, not worthy, that's not the right word, where they are stable and secure and are creating a beautiful, stable life financially for their Divine Feminines. And it's possibly part of the reason for the separation. But obviously there's been a past life relationship, because you are one and the same as twins. And I'm going to pull one card from the Whispers of Love deck. One card as a final message for Divine Feminines feeling frustrated about the lack of progress. Look to your inner strength is the message. You are stronger than you realize. I love her headdress of crystals. It's amazing. Well, there you go, Divine Feminines. You're stronger than you realize. And it is actually, oh, I just noticed. Look, it's an 11 card. That is awesome. That is clear. This is a beautiful way to end this reading. So anyway, I hope this was helpful for you, and I hope that some of these things I clarified will help you on your journey, or be good reminders for you, or just, you know, affirmation or understanding that there's all different dynamics that play in this path. And anyway, I hope that these messages also from my guides and the archangels and everyone have been supportive for you as well. So let me know if you have any questions about this. Let me know if this video was helpful for you, and how it if there was any message in particular that you felt was really something that you needed to hear today, because I guarantee you there were many others that felt the same way. So until next time, in abundant love always. Bye.